We got Becoming a Streamer Won't Save You by that boy Meezy. Man, I know this is about the whole streamer university, in-person applications. That shit was crazy. Okay, it's been a minute since I posted. Just life shit. Bear with me.
Here at Atlanta
Let's
Streamer
do it.
University, and it is already about to get shut down.
I drove 10 hours by myself, no break, no service, and then I just get a thing saying it's canceled.
To say, hey, trust your gut, stay home.
Yo.
Wasted $700 in
Oh
insurance
my
for that
god.
not even happening.
Hey, you know what's crazy? When he first announced the in-person streamer university applications, I literally thought to myself like, damn, should I make that drive? It's 6 hours. I think 6. But nah. You feel me? Because niggas already knew. We already knew them lines was going to be crazy. We already knew. If you don't live there, why are you going out of your way to go there? You know that line's about to be crazy.
Drove 11 hours to Atlanta from Texas just for Kai to cancel this.
Do not go.
You want to know something, bro? No, I'm pausing a lot. It's what I do, okay? I'm a yapper, but people who drove this far to not get a chance to audition, it's like I almost don't feel bad for them. You feel me? Like, I don't mean that. I'm not trying to be messed up, okay? I'm not. But, like, the world has a funny way of just, bringing you into reality of it's not that easy. It's not going to be that easy. For very few people is it that easy for you to just take a drive, think you're the golden child, get a golden ticket, and just take off. I'm sorry to break it to you.
To in-person Streamer U auditions if you do not have the time, the resources, or especially the funds.
I quit my full-time nursing job to apply to Streamer University.
Well, Atlanta.
See, that's insane. But what I can say, at least for her, in the nursing field, there is a plethora of jobs. That job market is always going to be growing, from what I understand. So she can always go back and get another nursing job. But these people who are quitting their jobs, shit dumb as hell. Okay, and I get it. I want to be a content creator too, from a full-time perspective. You feel me? For a very long time, that's what I wanted to do. But I'm not quitting my job for that. Nigga got rent, car note, car insurance. I gotta eat. You feel? Bruh, it's like, I get it. You want to shoot your shot, But like, we are adults, okay? And we have responsibilities that we have to put first. And you can chase whatever you're trying to do. You can work towards that while still handling your responsibilities. Okay? And I think I fuck with this dude, right? But I think his experience maybe motivated people to do more irrational things. And I'm talking about Corey to you. I'm name dropping. I fuck with him. This dude's he's cool peoples, you feel me? But I think he was the guy who at Streamer University for last year, he got attention to his application because he went and dropped out of college for the chance to go to Streamer University. And honestly, it worked out really well for him, but like, it was still a stupid thing to do. You feel me? It was dumb. It worked out for him. He got lucky. And like, props to him. But not everybody's going to be that lucky. You feel me? So like, we can't do these life-changing things assuming we're going to just get lucky. You feel me? When this shit's like getting a golden ticket. This shit's like Willy Wonka and you opening a chocolate bar and you see that gold wrap around the chocolate bar. I think that's what it was, right? You just don't know. You just don't know.
It was nice while it lasted. Standing on everything. Everybody don't push through the line.
In 2026, it seems like everywhere you turn, everywhere you go, and everywhere you look, everybody wants to become a streamer. Some of these people aren't just gamers or content creators who want to get into the field after doing their niche or style of content for a while. Some of these people are going to the lengths of quitting their job or dropping out of school and starting to stream and have never done it before. Streamer University made
That's the thing that blows my fucking mind. You've never even done this. How do you even know this is for you? How do you know you're not going to stream for 2 weeks and burn out and realize, I really don't like, I don't like what I do. You feel me? I feel like there's no way to really know that it's for you unless you have been there, you've streamed to 0 viewers, you've created content for 0 viewers, and you push through those times. Because that's, I think, is the real trial of like whether or not you actually like it. If you can continue to do it when nobody's watching. You feel me? Someone who likes playing basketball, they're going to go play basketball, even if it's just recreationally. Maybe they're not in the league, right? They're not getting paid for it, but it's what they love to do. So they're gonna go hoop regardless of what happens, where that takes them. You feel me? Like, I get it. I want to do content too, but like, not trying to like. I hate to feel like I'm tooting my own horn, but like, I've done this shit long enough to know what I like and don't like doing. You feel me? I've done the 24-hour streams. I've done super long streams. I've posted 10 videos a day at some point. You know, most of the videos is taken down and privated now. But like, I've been there. I've done these things to know that I genuinely like this. You feel me? That I can sit here and do this 60 hours a week, 70, 80 hours a week and be happy. Because it's not about the money. It's not about the financial freedom that I think people are. That's like the first thing that comes to mind when they think of like content creator or streamer is like, oh, having a lot of money. But there's more to it than that. There's so much more to it than like in content creation. There's so much more to it in the world of streaming than just hitting stream. You feel me? And think you're just gonna do whatever and maintain an audience. There's a lot more to it. And like, you gotta be built for it. You gotta be built for it. Like, I'm sorry, it's true. You gotta be built for it. And the only way to be built for it is to do the thing, and to do it long enough. Man,
this look obvious because it looked less like a school audition and more like a talent show. People weren't just applying for advice, they were applying for a chance to be seen. And hell, when I went down to the Atlanta Streamer University audition, it became abundantly clear that was the case. So
I apologize if the audio is a little too low. Should be better.
when I factor in things like economic climate or the access that being a celebrity gets you, the bigger question is not why does everyone want fame? I mean, I think that's obvious. The real question is, why does everyone want to stream specifically? Because while I do believe that streaming can open up so many doors for so many people, I think that a lot of people are biting off way more than they can chew. If you're new to this and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's gonna go a long, long way for the channel. Once I get to a certain threshold, I'm gonna start streaming. Hell, if everybody doing it, I can too. And this community should be there to support me, I think. Now, back into the video.
Kyle, he looks at me, he's like, bro, we just paid this streamer, not an A tier, not a B tier, like a C tier streamer, 70 racks. And I was like, oh, that must be like a crazy partnership over the next like 3 months. Like, that's gonna be sick. Good for the company, good exposure. No, he said no, bro. He stopped me right there. He's like, Les, it's not over the span of 3 months. It's not over the span of 2 months. It's a 30-second bit in their live stream.
Curious as business, it's like, what does one have to do to accumulate $300,000 in 1 month of content?
I mean, it's based off of your live concurrent viewers.
Okay.
It's based off
Can you
of
explain that?
Like how many people watching you at once.
Okay.
I always tell people, they be like, how many viewers I gotta have to make this much? If you can average 2,000 to 3,000 people every time you stream, you can make 6 figures a month.
Look, I'm not gonna.
It sounds like, I feel like people may like post on TikTok, and TikTok, the exposure is there. TikTok is so great for exposure and getting your content in front of people, right? Where you can easily post on TikTok and get a couple thousand views, get tens of thousands of views. There's people who post viral TikToks all the time. But how many people can maintain that virality, right? How many people can keep their audience engaged for them to stick around long enough? You're talking about 2,000 to 3,000 people. That's, bruh, that's a lot of people. There's music artists that are celebrities that have gotten into streaming, and they do not hold that many people, and they're already famous. You feel me? There is a lot to it in terms of keeping people entertained, keeping people engaged, that people just don't know from a consumer standpoint.
sugarcoated in this video, and I don't think that it does us any good if anybody plays oblivious as to why people want to jump into streaming. Of course, there are a bunch of numerous different reasons, but at the top of the funnel, the finances are first. In 2026, there are a plethora.
One thing I can say, y'all know me, I'm a pause and I'm a yap. All right, one thing I can say is, if you are a streamer, if you are a content creator, you are in the B2B space. B2B, business to business. Business to business is always going to be significantly higher ticket. Significantly. But like ultimately, long story short, you got to have some type of value. You got to have an audience that you can market whatever company's product or service to. That's ultimately it. And that's the service that you sell. Is the audience, right? But again, we got to keep that audience engaged. How do you know how to keep that audience engaged if you have not streamed? How do you know how to keep 1,000 people? What did I just say? How do you know how to keep 1,000 people engaged when you can't even keep 5? Like, there's things that come with like streaming enough and putting out enough content to grow your audience to some point yourself. I understand wanting a handout. I mean, shit, I think we'd all love a handout. Anyone who says they don't want it, I don't believe them. You feel me? Who wouldn't want to have an easier way of doing things? You know, have a leg up, have an advantage in the market. But it's not that simple.
Of ways for somebody who is pursuing content to be monetized. We're talking about subs, donations, sponsors, uploads, clips, merch, brand deals, live events, ad revenue. And this is so much different than the days of content past where people were just doing donations to you. Now the whole creator economy is insanely huge, and that's just the on-camera presence. Now what makes streaming so enticing is that from the outside looking in, it looks like these people are getting rich by hanging with their friends, playing games, reacting to videos, and honestly just being themselves. This is why streaming over other forms of content creation is so popular with so many people. It doesn't look like labor. It doesn't look like these cookie cutter algorithmic videos that I even put together, but it just looks like your lifestyle. You're doing your own thing and you're getting paid for it. People are saying,
but what's interesting is like, there is more to it than that. Because if you scroll through TikTok, right? And again, TikTok's great for exposure, and you come across someone's live stream, what are the odds that you actually tap, engage, and stick around for their stream? If they are sitting in silence playing a video game, they're sitting there vibing to music, they're doing things where it's just not entertaining. Like it doesn't have any entertainment value to you or educational value or something of the sort. Those odds are pretty slim. You feel me? I feel like we've seen it happen time and time again where a celebrity or a music artist, whoever the case it is, will get into streaming because they see people making a lot of money with it, and they try it and they fail. And I mean, it's okay to fail. I don't mean it in like a really bad way. What I'm really trying to say is they fail because they realize, or they don't realize, how much work goes into streaming in terms of keeping people engaged and entertained in some way. That shit's a lot of work. Try talking for 4 hours straight. Like, I'm not talking about like you're working a customer service job and only when you answer calls you gotta talk. No, you gotta be talking 24/7. It's because at any point somebody click into your stream, and if they click in and it's 5 seconds of silence, well, they're probably clicking off, right? It's so much to it. It's so much to it, and I can yap on this because I'm passionate about it, because I've been there, I've done it, and it is frustrating for me. It is frustrating seeing a lot of people apply who haven't put the time into streaming, who haven't put the time into content, and I kind of feel like because there are so many people who haven't really done that, it makes it harder to stand out as someone who has done that. Because, I mean, there's just so much more volume, so much more people applying. That can be frustrating. Man.
Kai, they're seeing Aiden, Speed, Jinxie, Blackboy Max, Phantom, Duke, Sketch, whoever, and it feels like they're looking at the new version of a rapper or an athlete.
Yo. The thing is, it be looking like they're chilling, right? Whole time, that shit is planned. That shit is planned. I've watched interviews with like Agent, and Agent talks about like after his stream, he meets with his team at the end of every stream, and they're always talking about new ideas, what they're gonna do next. You know, they're planning different things. He's budgeting for certain things for streaming events. Like there is so much that goes on behind the scenes. But from a consumer perspective, you're really only going to see like the finished product, right? The same way you might watch a YouTube video and it took you 3 minutes to watch the YouTube video, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? But it took the editor, the person who did all the work behind the scenes, it took them 10 hours of editing for all these fancy edits that you just watched in 3 minutes. As a viewer, are you fully conscious of the amount of time that went into that video? No, you're not. Are you fully conscious of the amount of work that went into the video? No, you're not. Not unless you're an editor yourself. You feel me? I mean, yeah.
We in a day and age where being a streamer is way cooler than being a rapper right now. Being a rapper, like, since forever, like, since the 80s, that was, like, the coolest job you could have. It was, like, top tier, like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, you're mad popular, you know what I mean? All the women want you if you're a guy, and vice versa if you're a woman. But now, being a streamer, like, it probably changed within the last 2 years. Like, being a streamer, that's the coolest job. Like, because they really just film them just being, like, just in the house. Like, they don't even be doing shit. Like, so, like, yeah. Salute to them niggas.
The dream is not...
I think that's so interesting. I think the way I see it, a lot of music artists, they can kind of live pretty privately, unless they're like international status, Drake, Beyonce, Jay-Z, you know, like stuff like that, artists like that. But a lot of them can live pretty privately. You know, they can have a lot of whatever they do in their house is what they do in the house. You'd have no idea. So these streamers that you're seeing who may make a comparable amount of money or have a comparable amount of success, they're also putting a lot more work into it. Like when you're a music artist, once your music's out and you've done your tours, you're getting paid. You're getting royalties. You're getting paid. All after the fact. And that shit snowballs. When you're streaming, that's like driving trucks. You're not getting paid unless the wheels spinning. You feel me? Not unless you're turning that stream into like other content, but you get my point.
Just, I can make money online. The dream is more so, hey, I can make money by being myself, which is totally new, which is totally invigorating and totally enticing to a lot of people. But there's this dangerous illusion that is presented when people perceive streaming in this fashion. They're only looking at the top 1% of it all. They don't see the people that are streaming 8 hours a day to 20 viewers. They don't see the consistency, the pressure, the failed streams, the bad numbers, and the years. And I do mean years of building for a lot of these content creators.
I'm streaming for one viewer. What am I doing for my life? I am 24 years old, who's been streaming for 7 years, brother, and I'm literally streaming to one viewer. Like, what the fuck? What did I do wrong in life? I'm just really just trying to figure that out, dude. Like, chat, I've tried to be positive. I have every positive bone in my body, and I'm trying to be positive, bro. Like, fuck.
But overall, streaming looks like the only job.
Can I just say, and it's not like I'm a successful streamer, so why would you listen to me, right? But what I can say is I feel like people who they have not grown in that amount of time, there are some things that you're doing wrong. I do think that if you're just streaming and you're streaming like endless hours and you're not growing, like at what point do we, trying to make some changes, take a step back, analyze, strategize? Or what are some ways I can grow my stream? Or are you cutting it in are you streaming for the purpose of making content? If that makes sense. If you know, but are you making content with that? Are you taking clips of your stream, posting it in long form, short form? Are you doing things to actively push out your stream? Or are you just streaming on Twitch? You feel me? Just grinding video games for hours on end. Because it's very, very, very hard to grow that way. Because Twitch isn't really built for that type of exposure. Like, you gotta find traffic. You gotta generate traffic through other channels. Then convert that into Twitch viewers. Right? I say that like I'm some super successful creator. I'm not. But at one point, I did have, I don't know, I peaked. I think my biggest stream was like 100, 200 viewers at one point back in the day, like 2019, something like that. But like, that's because I already had an audience. I built that audience through YouTube. You feel me? Look, I'm gonna stop yapping.
Where someone can get rich without ever looking like they clocked in. The dream is not just the money. The dream is to be yourself, and the dollars ultimately follow. People aren't chasing streaming because it looks easy. They're chasing it because the success looks effortless. But money alone doesn't explain the streamer phenomenon. TikTok and YouTube can also make people rich. So why are so many people jumping straight to streaming?
Like, what's the difference between a celebrity and a streamer that has over 100K views, right? I'm pretty sure the streamer is gonna get more recognized than the celebrity.
Y'all can disagree with me, but streamers are the most famous people on earth right now. Streamers are the most famous. Like, everybody knows what a streamer is for the most part. And people want to live the life like a streamer more than an actor, more than an actress, more than a rapper. It's streaming now. That's like people are really getting popping off of that. Streamers are like they like the Jay-Z's now. And
I think that's a very interesting take. I think it's not necessarily wrong, but I think a very big contributor to this, or one factor we have to keep in mind, is the demographic. The demographic that we are like looking at. If it's Gen Z, if it's people under the age of 30 that grew as like they became adults as streaming was becoming more popular, more successful, then I do think like streamers will stand out a lot more to them. But older people who didn't really grow up in that time, they probably don't even know who Blackboy Max is. Probably like the average person over the age of like 35, 40. I don't know. I'm just throwing out shit off the top of my head. I could be so wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Shit.
Doesn't take away from actually success and being, an actor or being in the basketball player, whatever like that. But I'll say between being in sports and a streamer, those are the two highest paid occupations right now. Basketball players and streamers. But streamers right now are considered the GOATs, like the Carson Nets, the Talil.
Man said basketball players and streamers. Actually, I think baseball players and football, like soccer, when I say football, I believe those players get paid more on average.
Those know them, the Duke Dennises, they're the ones. They're the most famous.
You see, TikTok and YouTube feel like posting to this algorithm. You upload, you wait, you refresh, you wait, you refresh, you wait, you refresh. 30 minutes later, you finally find out how your video is performing. Even here on this channel, I have some comments. I may interact with some people from time to time, but ultimately there is this gap that is still there in a couple different areas. Streaming, however, feels like you are walking into a room, and that room is filled with validation, attention, fame, and notoriety that no one could ever imagine. Even if only a few people are watching, the streamer gets live reactions, live jokes, live criticisms, live donation, and most importantly, live validation. This makes a stream and a streamer feel more personal than what it already is. You're not just making content, but you're hosting an environment that is ultimately going to prop you up to levels of validation that you could have never imagined. And this is why a lot of people are skipping straight to streaming. Not just, hey, I want to go start doing content and then move over that direction. No, people are stopping what they're doing in their 9-to-5s and just jumping straight into streaming. But see, this is where a lot of people
Which is crazy.
While I was at the Streamer University auditions in Atlanta, seeing the people that were in line, I saw people doing anything for validation or a reaction or some sort of comment or maybe even a slight donation from a chat. And we could talk about the content of people's streams in a different video, but these people are treating this as the final product, and that's where I think that they're missing. The smart streamers aren't treating it as such. They are treating it as the raw footage. The real strategy is go live for a couple hours, create as many moments as possible, and turn the best into different clips.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Streaming to create content. So I said, if you know, you know.
Channel where all my streams goes to YouTube, so it's double the money. Say I'm live streaming with you right now, right? Yeah. It's a that I never met in my life that lives in Canada.
I was gonna clip it.
That clips it.
How you get money from that?
YouTube.
Okay.
So he uploaded for me.
YouTube.
He uploaded for me, and
doubled
then
up.
I have a situation with him where he gets paid, I get paid, boom, boom, boom.
That's smart.
Those clips then travel the world via reaction channels, commentary channels, reposting pages, etc., etc. That's where the real validation, conversation, fame, and notoriety come from. Few people even watch actual streams, but I know everybody consumes some sort of clip. This is why streaming can make you feel more famous, even if the numbers don't reflect. See, the algorithm can ignore you, but when chat talks back to you and gives you that thing that you can circulate to these different audiences on these different platforms, you can feel bigger than what you even are. And that feeling is exactly why Streamer University is so popular. People craving for that attention, that fame, and that notoriety that they've been longing for and yearning for in life. It's not just a school. Streamer University is a stage for those to rise to the top.
Yo, decent now. What's up, man? What is that? It's a monkey. That's my baby. Sit down. All right. I'm sitting down. How you doing, Captain? Wait, is it friendly? It's friendly. Is it bite? Only if you make him bite. It's a marmoset monkey. Tico, go say hi. Every single day, like my baby. Go say hi. Yeah. Do you know his name? His name is Tico. Tico? Yeah.
How you doing, Mr. Snap? I'm here from the Amos Department of Corrections. Could you kindly stand up for me?
I'm in trouble?
We're here to issue you a few citations. We actually tracked you down all the way in New York, and you escaped to California.
No.
Is that right or wrong?
No.
You escaped to California, and we're here in ATL to track you down to issue you a few citations.
What would I do?
Now, you have two choices. Either, can you please stand up? I'm an officer of the law. That's a little disrespectful, if you don't mind. So you have two options. We're going to offer you two deals. You have a plea deal. And this is like your Corey.
What do you need me to do? What do you need me to do?
I need you to hire me as the hall monitor for Streamer University. As you can see, I'm very competent at my job, and I've been doing this for a very long time. So that's one way to go, or you'll be apprehended at the scene as we speak.
Okay, I can't accept now.
Okay. Well, we could do so. We could work something out. Definitely. We'll definitely get. Yep. Just get some information going. You know what I'm saying? Make sure everything is good.
Streamer University is the new age.
Bruh, these in-person trials, I'm like, when he first announced it, I thought off rip, all of this, and I'm not going anywhere like negative with this, but all of this is to generate clips, right? It's a big marketing effort that's gonna have more people tuned in to Stream University, more people excited for it, build anticipation, and it's a great way for creators to network with each other as well. But like these clips that I'm seeing with everything happening, bruh, Kai did not get to where he's at by coincidence. Okay? A lot of this stuff is like, it's clip farm. You feel me? It's clip farm. And that's okay. Like this is just the name of the game.
American Idol. People came far and wide in order to showcase their talents, their creativity, and why they belong in the rooms with some of the biggest creators on the planet. And I'm not gonna lie, some of the in-person interviews I saw were hilarious. Of course, we had characters that we had known for a long time before in the Reggies, in the Rakais, the Rays, the Suburb Babies, the Ben Dons, all these different people. But it did showcase and highlight some people that I had never seen before. That guy, and I'm pretty sure he's a big streamer, who did the Hall Monitor skit. I thought that was one of the most innovative and creative things. Kai played along with it very well. I laughed my ass off. Now, while a lot of people understood the assignment and realized,
I think it's cool too. Stream University is like, growing up, I'm a 90s baby, okay? I was born in 97. But like growing up, you watch shows like iCarly, Victorious, stuff like that. I feel like watching streamers collaborate or watching them in the same setting is like watching those mashups. Like I'm pretty sure Victorious and iCarly had a mashup episode, or a few different ones as well. They had one with I forget who it was, like Wizards Waverly Place and something else. But like it creates those feelings. I feel it's really unique, and I think it's really cool seeing the amount of different creators that come from all different backgrounds and have all different personas and egos really just interact with each other in creative ways. I think that's like the dopest shit with Streamer University.
That Streamer University and even just the auditions was an opportunity to be creative, get their content off, and they understood that the real prize was an opportunity to get more views with this trending topic. A lot of people had a different prize in mind. You see, their prize wasn't the views, it wasn't the opportunity to collaborate and network with a bunch of people. Their prize was the opportunity and chance to get to Kai Cenat. And when that didn't happen, let's just say it didn't go so well.
Oh, my cousin G. Pastor, that you weird as fuck. Oh, my cousin, you're weird as
the fuck is we crying for?
fuck.
I'm sorry. I don't know about y'all. Okay, I don't understand why people will be crying about shit and then run and be like, "Go, let me prop my phone up and hit record." You feel me? Come on. Unless it's like stuff like Markiplier and stuff like that. I'm there for that. I'm cool with that. But shit like this just make me cringe, bro. Like,
Why the fuck would you have the audition without me? Why?
Man, even though I've been camping for 4 days since Thursday in LA for Streaming University auditions, waited in line since 6 a.m., was hella committed, staying here, still got denied from the staff. They didn't even get to get interviewed by Castanat.
now, like, what did you expect? If 200 people go to audition, right? I don't know what the numbers were. Let's say 200 people did, and I'm sure it was a lot more than that. Do you really think he's going to be able to meet with all 200 people, all 300 people? Do you really think that? You think it's that easy? Excuse me. Like, we gotta be mindful of this. Like, if you're going out of your way to do something like this, I respect it. I'm all for the hustle. But, like, you gotta go with the expectation, or I think it's important to go with the expectation of, this may not go my way. I may not meet this person. I may get there too late. Or I may go and do everything I gotta do and still not get picked. And know that, look, I did my part. I made the effort, and it is what it is. But, like, part of the process is enjoying the process. You feel me? Embracing the process, every step of it. What the fuck is we crying for?
Ugly cry. I'm so bad coming up here because as bad as I want this, bro, like, as bad as I want to go to Streaming University, I feel like awareness needs to be spread because, bro, I'm just so angry because I was so close in the line. So I was out there meeting people, making connections. I was grateful for that. But it was starting to get closer to time. First of all, people were passing out.
I respect her making connections, meeting people. I think that's one of the biggest things anyone could have done in that situation.
My thing is, was time, like, time was getting closer to going inside. Some people were able to go inside earlier before even Kai got there. And then, like, the drone would come out. People were pushing and shoving. Like, I'm so angry because I was so fucking close. The whole event is just, like, the whole in-person application is just mad unserious. And I say that to say because you...
But, like, here's my thing. Like, crying about, talking about where I was so close. You might have, like, say you did get in, right? Say you did get in, and he met you, and you did your in-person application. Who's to say he's gonna pick you? You feel me? And I don't know you on a personal level to, you know, speak towards that. I'm just saying, like, you getting in doesn't mean anything. I'm sure it would feel good, but, like, in the grand picture, does it actually do anything for you? I don't know, because that may not go anywhere. You feel me? Why are we crying?
You got people who really want it. The people that really want it, you got people, a whole bunch of people playing because they want the opportunity to meet Kai and to get a viral moment or whatever, which I'm not knocking anybody for their reasons of going. But it's just like...
Man, fuck that. I'm knocking that shit. I'm knocking all that shit. If you don't do content, if you don't stream, if it's something you haven't done before, if it's something you haven't really got into, like, the nitty gritty of, what the fuck is you doing there? Stay out the way. At that point, be part of the, you know, be a spectator. That's okay. We all need viewers. Shit. You feel me?
Sad. Like, now I'm home. I done wasted this call out of work. Got a flight to go back home. Like, bro, I'm just so bad.
When I was at the Streaming University auditions in Atlanta, I saw content creators who had been creating for years, and I mean verifiable years, coming from Wyoming, Philadelphia, Florida, St. Louis, everywhere far and in between for the opportunity to network, create, and potentially meet Castanat. I did some interviews, and ultimately I lost the audio for them. I know, I'm punching and kicking myself as well, about the entire experience and situation. And ultimately, a lot of people, hell, pretty much everybody that I interviewed said that if they didn't make it in to see Kai Cenat that day, it would not make or break them when it comes to content creation and the streaming journey that they are going on. And that was a breath of fresh air because the things that I consumed on the internet said opposite for a good amount of people. Now, this is no shade and this is no knock on any of the people that I've shown in this video that are crying or complaining or being negative about their experiences in the streamer university.
Nah, fuck all that on me. I'll say it for you. Damn, grow some balls. This is what it takes. That's literally just what it takes. That disappointment of you got there and you thought some shit was gonna happen and it never did. That's some shit we gotta go through, bro. Like, that's character development. But from like a content creation and streaming journey perspective, those are things that we gotta push through. Because the people who push through that are going to be the people who stand out. They're going to be the people who go somewhere. You feel me? Nah, fuck all that. Oh, Meezy, I get it. I respect it, you know? But like, we gotta, I do genuinely feel like as a society, we do gotta start back calling people out. Calling people out for inappropriate behavior. If they're just like, you know, I don't know. I'm not even trying to like come for the next. You feel me? I don't know them personally. They could have done a lot more work than I have. I don't know. You know, so I'm not looking to discredit them. But like this type of behavior after the fact, that is unacceptable. Come on, what the fuck is we doing, bruh? Like, come on. Why are we crying? At least if you're gonna cry, go cry in the shower. And when you hit that record button, puff your chest. Why? Because you did what you had to do. You did what you could do. You feel me? Man.
The audition line. But to me, their priority was more so about meeting Kai Cenat as opposed to wanting to be streamers. I went to look at their social media pages and I went to try to find content and it was sparse. It was like a man who has a thinning hairline. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Even that young lady who was crying in the Knicks jersey, the last time she had streamed was a year ago. And I say,
hey. Oh my God. Come on. Easy. Come on. You know what you're doing showing that screenshot.
I think you have to stream in order to get accepted in the stream university, but I think you understand the gist of it all. And I think for a large portion of the population, this answers the why.
High key though, that is crazy. I have seen multiple people who have applied and I go to their page, I go to their YouTube and they Twitch, you know, and they're not active. They're not active on no social media platform. Why are we applying? You feel me? I watched one on YouTube at one point where the guy was talking about like his application and how bad he wanted it and blah 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 blah. And then I went to his page and he had like 5 videos posted in the last 6 years. What? You clearly don't want it that bad. And I'm not always the most consistent myself, so, you know, life happens, I get it. But 5 videos in 6 years? Bro. What are we talking about?
Of it all. Well, why do you want to go to streamer university? Why do you want to be a streamer right now? For some people, they see it as a way out of poverty. They see it as a way to come up in this world. For a lot of people, they see it as fame, notoriety, and attention. For a subsection of people, they just want to meet Kai Cenat. They don't know what it takes to ultimately become a streamer. Hell, they're not even attempting to do it in their free time. They just see a place in a space where they can see a guy that they watch on screen and enjoy and are going to run at it full head of steam. This is why that streamer university audition stage is so important of it all. It highlighted the desperation, desire, and the delusion of people out there that are looking to uplift themselves or change their trajectory. Hell, it even had athletes like Lamar Jackson and Le'Veon Bell appearing at streamer university auditions.
Look, I ain't caused no ruckus. I was just in there chilling. I'm like, all right, man. They said they gonna come get me in 10 minutes. They said they gonna come get me in 15 minutes. I'ma just wait. 10 minutes go by, they don't come. Now everybody seen the stream. They know like now I'm like a couple times, like two, 3 10-minute sessions go by. I go back out there. I'm like, bro, what's going on, bro? He's like, man, they gonna come get you. Boom, boom, boom. I wait 6-7 hours the entire time, chat, for Kai to finally come in there I don't ever go to the room and meet him. He finally come in there and say, like, man, I'm sorry for all y'all's wait. Get to see y'all, blase, whatever the fuck he say. At this time, I'm like checked out. I'm like, all right, bro, whatever.
Why? I don't know. Maybe because they want to be a part of the moment. For a lot of those people out there who are truly talented and genuine with their content, they just wanted a bigger stage. But for the people that are in it for the wrong reasons, I think that they just want the cosign from the bigger name, thinking that that will platform them to a different height. And I do agree that it can put you in a different stratosphere. We've seen streamers and content creators come up from a boost and a cosign from others. But at the end of the day, I don't think that that's what streaming is all about. If your heart is not in it, then it ultimately won't be successful. And when your heart is not in something and you're being forced to do it because it brings you fame, it brings you notoriety, it brings you money, then ultimately the mental pressures that come with streaming will ultimately weigh down on you harder than we've ever seen before.
I feel like sometimes...
Literally facts. I want to speak really briefly towards that. I had a time where I got a 6-figure job. 6 figures, working in sales, doing what I do now, but I had to do it at a way bigger scale, right? And I very quickly realized that job was not for me. It was the most money I ever made, and it was also the most like empty I ever felt. Empty to a point where like it bothered me so much. It was hard to get out of bed every morning. I felt constantly drained. Like I absolutely hated what I did. There was no passion there, no interest. Like, bro, it really goes to show like money is not everything, because you got to be able to wake up every day and do and pursue your purpose. You feel me? And for me, my purpose was not there. The only time that I've ever been like, yeah, I can get up and do this every single day and do this for 20 hours a day, 22 hours a day of making content. It was making content and streaming. And I was sleeping like 2, 3, 4 hours a day sometimes. And, you know, doing what I had to do. But it was like something I genuinely enjoyed. I had, need a pack of ramen a day. I made a song about this recently for my streaming university application. But a pack of ramen a day. Hey, man, I wasn't complaining. Because I was ultimately doing something I enjoy, making content and streaming, interact with my community, doing these 24-hour streams. Like, that shit was fire.
People need to self-reflect and take a step back from the broad perspective of what their life has been. I believe that there is more to this world that is much greater than myself. The energy and passion to want to do more and create is within me. That is why I quit. And honestly, for the past few months, I've been struggling with mental health out of self-doubt and fright of pursuing goals that I really want to achieve. And the reason I've really been in my head is because I just wanted to do more. I've gained to realize that I'm a true creator and I'm very passionate about creating. And I have other goals and things that I just want to achieve and do more of.
Taking a fucking break! What the fuck I'm doing? Take a little break. I'm not retiring, nigga. Niggas was talking about some retiring, but I'm taking a break. I ain't gonna cap, taking a break. It could be 1 day, it could be 2 days, it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be a month, it could be 3 months, it could be a year. I'm taking a break, nigga. Bro, I've been at this bitch for 7 years, gang. I'm tired.
And that type of shit bleeds into the Twitch chat. That shit bleeds into everywhere, bro. Niggas just being negative. I might come on that shit being goofy. I might come on this bitch. Y'all can call me corny. I don't give a fuck, bro. Y'all can call me whatever the fuck y'all want, but I come on this bitch to entertain y'all niggas, bro. I come on this bitch because I love y'all niggas, bro. On God, bro. I come on this bitch to have fun, bro. Just have fun with y'all, bro. Like, this shit hard, bro. It's not easy, bro. I be putting my heart and soul in this shit. On God, bro.
And you can't tell if people want to be around you, people want to fuck with you. Like, for you, bro, like, that shit is hard, bro. Like, that shit, like, it's hard to be a streamer, bro. It's hard to just be a creator because you don't know what's real, bro.
One of the common things that I talk about on this platform is the mental pressures that come with streaming. I think it's different, and I do mean way different than any other form of content creation. When I cut on my camera, personally, I know that I will have the ability to edit this down and make myself look as polished as possible. And for the most part, people are coming for a specific video and are commenting for a specific thing. They're not talking about my appearance, my personality, my looks, the things that I said that were wrong, dragging begging me for
That's
this, that,
true.
and the
That's
third, my
another thing
family
that
life,
come with it,
etc.,
man.
etc. But streaming is this game in which you have to give your all to the camera in order to make it work. And I don't think that a lot of people are prepared for that. Sure, there's freedom involved. You work from home, you play games, you talk to your friends, you make money based off of your personality. But what people aren't talking about is that the bigger you get, the more that your life becomes the product. You have to be entertaining when you're tired. You have to be funny when you're annoyed. You have to be the life of the party even if you're having a down day. Hell, we've seen things like Jay Cinco's family members passing.
I want to say I've had times where, I just say I woke up every day, like, pack a ramen every day just to get by. I had to really make a stretch. But I woke up and I did that every day, right? And I woke up every day feeling like I was pursuing my purpose. I felt like I was on my purpose. But you know what? There were still some days, because I was going hard. There were still some days where, like, I would get up and I didn't have it in me. I don't even know if it was from a place of burnout, but just like, I didn't have it in me. Like, mentally, I was not doing well. You feel me? But, like, I had a chat to get back to. You feel me? I have people that's looking forward to seeing me at a certain time. And if I don't show up, I may not continue to grow. I may lose that person. You feel me? There is mental pressures that come with that. You feel me? So, like, there'll be days where I am not 100%. I might be at 20%, but guess what? That camera turn on. I hit start recording, start streaming. Gotta flick that switch. It don't matter how I feel. I gotta entertain. You feel me? Like, there is pressure that comes with that. And you gotta be down for that shit, man. Like, I don't know if everybody can do that. I don't know. I'm passionate about that shit, so I'm sorry, but like, fuck.
Away and then having to come back so soon because the bank account and the job revolves around. No matter how you feel, you have to entertain the audience for hours. Think about it from this POV. If I decided that I wanted to stop this recording right now and go and take a break and then come back to it later, I could. But if I was live streaming this exact video, I couldn't. I would have to continue on no matter how I felt. And all these things can weigh on you because simultaneously you're playing this algorithmic game to appease to a certain community or audience that wants you to be a certain way. And if you're not fitting that narrative, then ultimately people are going to turn away from you. I think this is why streaming isn't as easy as it looks. People feel like the job is just pressing go live, but the job is creating and doing something that is worth watching while going live every single time. And that means being happy with people, looking at your life constantly, picking and prodding at you, giving criticisms at every single move that you make to no avail. And this is why Kai Cenat is so successful. Not because he just turns on the camera and goes willy-nilly with his friends and his homeboys, but he understands production, pacing, networking, community, events, celebrities, moments, viral or otherwise. But even he has to deal with the negative aspects of becoming a successful streamer. That's why he's on.
I think too. I think also that's part of the reason why he kind of burnt out and switched to avenues for a while. When I understand he's coming back, which is that's dope. But I think that largely contributed to his burnout. Like, he went all in. He didn't get to where he's at by coincidence. He went all in, put cameras all around his house. All in. And I think it got to a point where, like, it had him questioning, like, what's real? What's staged? You feel me? Is he being his authentic self? Because when you're streaming, no one's being their authentic self. Let's be honest. No one is. Not 100%. You might be 80% your authentic self. 90%. You're not being that 100%. Why? Because if you're being that 100% authentic self, guess what? A lot of people aren't. Like, most people aren't watching you. You feel me? If you're watching a show, you're watching a YouTube video, odds are you're watching it in silence, you're laying down, you're not really talking, you're chilling. But guess what? You streaming, you're recording, there is no just chilling. It don't matter how you feel, there is no just chilling, because nobody's watching that. You feel me? So it's like, you gotta be more expressive than you normally would. Right, and that's why I say maybe 90% your authentic personality, your authentic self. But, like, you got to be more expressive than you normally would. That's the main thing I'm trying to say. All right, everything that you are, you just emphasize that. Even if it's just a smidge. But that takes mental work too. That takes physical work too.
a 9-month hiatus right now. Everybody wants the reward of it all, but they don't understand the machine that they are getting into when they go and stand in that line for Streamer University or apply online or get on the internet and beg and plead to a community of people saying that they want to be and will be one of the biggest streamers in the world. They get into this game because they feel as if there's no boss, but I'm here to tell you the audience, the community, and the algorithm are your boss. So when you ask why everybody wants to become a streamer, the answer is bigger than the money. It's clear as day that streaming has become the cleanest and clearest version of modern fame. The good, the in-between, and the ugly. And while everybody wants that lifestyle, I don't think that they see the trap that is coming. I don't want it to be doom and gloom though. I think that streaming is about to go into a whole different direction. It's about to introduce a whole different set of people. That's if they are true to what they were saying at the Streamer University auditions and from their bedrooms as they submitted the applications. Whether or not you get accepted in the Streamer University, I expect more and more people to hop into this lifestyle. But I can't help but think they are doing this haphazardly as I see streamers day in and day out hop out of the game. It's been a minute since we've seen a Phantom. It's been a minute since we've seen a Duke. It's been a minute since we've seen some of our staple creators, and the breaks that the ones that are around do keep getting bigger and bigger every single day. I like how streamers are reinventing themselves in real.
I think what's interesting is everybody wants to be a streamer, right? But a lot of your favorite streamers don't even be wanting to stream half the time. You know, I don't mean in a sense of like they hate it, but it's more just like I think a lot of them are kind of like they'd rather not do it. I watched an interview with Agent from AMP, and I fuck with Agent. Agent is so fucking dope, man. He's authentic for sure. It's as much as he can be. But he talked about how damn, I lost my train of thought. God damn. Man, I felt like I had something good too. Whatever.
Time because it is showing that you don't have to always go down this path and you can kind of make streaming what you.
Oh, there we go. I found it. I found my train of thought. In this interview, Agent was saying how he prefers just making YouTube videos. He said he misses those days where he just make YouTube videos where the camera's not on him 24/7. It's not live. You know, like when you're live, you gotta like put on a certain way 24/7. It's not just you hit record and while you're recording, you're doing acting a part, whatever the case it is. It's like no, you're like this 24/7. You feel me? Because the camera is live. Yeah, he said like even now, there's times where he's just recording and it feels so good to just be recording and not streaming. So it goes to show like even some of like the biggest streamers don't always want to stream, you know? Yeah,
you want it to be. I Show Speed is a perfect example of this. He's not doing the typical stuff that he used to do, but now is doing world tours, meeting dignitaries and famous people and all this other stuff like that with his audience captivating abilities. And that seems to be something that's having less stress on his mental. His physical, I don't know, but his mental seems as though it's being well done. But all in all, people have to understand that when they're answering the question why they want to be a streamer or even asking it, is that there is so much that streaming can give you. You just have to know if you're ready for it.
Damn, no, that's so real. This shit changed videos on me, but let me change back over. It's been a minute. Yeah, man. Look, I get everybody wanted to be a content creator or a streamer. I mean, you see what I'm doing. I'm making content right now. You know, that's a very big goal of mine. It's been a goal of mine for the last 8 years. 9 years, however long at this point. Life kind of gets in the way sometimes, but I say what I have to say. There's so much that comes with streaming and content creation that people aren't necessarily in the know of. And that kind of concerns me in terms of like Streamer University like attendees. Because there are some people, not all, but there are some people who they did get very lucky. They got very fortunate. They got picked to go to the last one in 2025. And after the fact, they didn't keep up. They didn't keep on posting. You know, the traction kind of died down, and I guess that the lows, it got to them, you know, and they ended up going nowhere with it. There are some people who stayed consistent and they turned it into a full-time thing and they continue to grow, and I respect that so much. But it goes to show like you got to be ready for that, because the ups and downs, when the ups are upping, oh, they're good. But when the downs are down, bruh, it's hard. It is stressful. And it's one of those things where it's like, even when you stressful, I mean, even when it's stressful, when you stressing, you got to continue to choose it every day. You feel me? And that, my concern is how many people can continue to choose it every day. Oh my God, I can't speak English. It's too late. In the video, good video, W video on Mizzy. I'll fuck with him.